What is even reference? This is going to be a very good sounding earphone, the Daybreak from CrinEar, but it might not actually be for you. Good day guys, it's Practiphile, and yeah, today we are going to look at CrinEar Daybreak plus the CrinEar Meta. So thank you so much Paul Yoasobi for sending this in, letting me borrow the CrinEar earphones here, the Meta and the Daybreak. So I only have the Daybreak box because, you know, like we're saving shippings here. But anyhow, so I have here both of the IMs. I can actually recommend getting the Daybreak because you cannot get the Meta anyway, but I'm gonna talk about the Meta anyhow, a little bit of it. Let's start with the Daybreak here. Well, this is technically a Daybreak review. It came with this box in here, and the IEMs should be here with a hard case actually, and just everything that you need, interchangeable connectors, cable, stuff like that. That's it. Fit and comfort is actually really good. I actually like how it feels. Again, it's made of resin, and you can actually see through what's inside in there, like the drivers and stuff. Yeah, very comfortable actually. Really good. Cable could be a little bit better. I feel like they cut corners on the cable quality in here. I mean, it's fine for the price because these are priced $169, is it? It's a 1DD 2BA 2 microplanar driver. So I mean, like a lot of people have been, you know, had made reviews about this. Maybe you check on them, and I'm just probably focused on the sound here. So let's start with its with the objective findings here. The graph of the Daybreak looks like that one over there. As you can see, it's more appropriate maybe to put it in my balance target. So there's some elevation on the bass in there. It's following the JM1 tilt or the Meta tuning, and so you have some elevation there around 300 Hz to 1K, and it pushes everything a little bit forward. It's a hit and miss for me, really. It's sub-bass dominant, as you can see there, like 10 dB of gain in there and peaking at 3K, and then a steady decline in treble. So how does it sound? It sounds balanced. It sounds balanced. Is it neutral? Probably not, but close, because there is a sub-bass boost increase. Does it sound similar to my neutral target? Though again, I'd probably stick with balanced sounding, but it is a very good reference balanced in my opinion. So yeah, that is the objective findings, and moving on to my scoring. Subjective findings were in a score. The CrinEar Daybreak here, check my video right here if you want to know how I score set. So let's start with the tonality. Again, the tonality on this one here, it's just balanced. It's just natural sounding with a bit of sub-bass boost. Not really a bit, actually it's very good sub-bass boost in there. You can see there in my target that I have some, I don't know, like coloration. We follow the same amount of gain, but the reason that my gain is a little bit wider, it's because the narrower the gain, the shouter the vocals is. That's just for me. The narrower the gain, the shouter the vocals is. And so with the JM1 tuning, it's a little bit narrower, and then it's a 10 dB gain in there. Sometimes the female vocals actually are borderline shouty. I noticed that it's just not thin. Can be fatiguing, but still natural sounding in my opinion. For the tonally, I don't hear any unnatural timbre whatsoever. Tonality, I'm giving it a 3. So moving on to the bass. Again, the bass is one of, I mean, like really good implementation actually. There's a cut in there. I think they cut it around 150 Hz, and the sub bass just like for the price, man. For the price, this is in my price category, 120 to 250. I think it's on par with the Dyna Quattro and the EA1000. Yeah, really good quality bass in there. It's just really textured. It's just that it's so well separated, man. Like those hits, it's really well separated. And so for the bass, I'm giving it 3. For the mids, again, they sound natural, organic, you name it. I mean, I was trying it with my drums. Disclaimer, it is an electronic drum, but still, those recorded cymbals and snares and everything on the kit, they came from real sound. But yeah, they just sound really crisp. Like I didn't hear any unnatural boost in the cymbals and the hi-hats. The snares were perfectly you know, like they were snappy, the toms, high toms, low, everything. They sound natural. I'd probably be playing more instruments in the future. I'm planning to get an acoustic guitar so that I can find if it's timbrally accurate, but for now, just with my drums, and even with the songs that I tried, just natural sounding, man. It's just natural sounding. So for the mids, it's 3. Now for the treble, again, it can be a little bit shouty, especially for female vocals. I didn't notice any problems with the male vocals. So yeah, for the treble, I'd probably just give it 2.5. I mean, it's okay, but it's not the IM that would wow you in the treble. It extends just fine, and maybe that is the appeal of Crin on this one here. They just tune it to sound natural, you know, extending naturally. And so yeah, treble 2.5. And lastly, technicalities. It's not crazy resolving or anything. I even thought that it was a little bit veiled, and probably it's the overall lift around the 300 to 1K, but still, it's still natural sounding. Natural timbre is one of my criteria in technicalities, so it's something that I like, you know. So technicalities, I'll give it 2.5, and that's an overall of 13. So this is actually an S rank for me. It's on my rec list now. All right, so let's move on now to the comparisons. The first one here, actually, when I first tried it, immediately, it reminded me of Variations. Look at that in there. It looks like a corrected Variations, you know? Like if you feel like the mid bass on the talk of the Variations is just too abrupt, well, here you go. Moondrop Variations, CrinEar Daybreak. It's cheaper, although it doesn't have ECs. I do think that the Variations does mids pretty fine, but the bass is a little bit, you know what I mean. But yeah, the gain, everything just felt really, really similar. Even with the treble, the Daybreak is pretty close. So you get the Daybreak. It is good. Next one is my another reference, and it's probably the Odyssey. I reviewed it recently, and why it's here, because I want to put a point here. They follow kind of like similar from the bass until, you know, like 1K. And I want to put a point that I mentioned about the gain on the Daybreak, that it's probably too much, like 10 dB of gain. The Zigot Odyssey has a lesser gain, and it's also correct sounding. So the reason I compared it to the Odyssey, it's because if you feel like you're more sensitive to upper mids, then probably you're better off with the Odyssey. But yeah, if you like shout, if your, you know, library consists of a lot of J-pop and K-pop and female vocals, then go ahead with the Daybreak. But yeah, just letting you know that if you want a more relaxed listen, there are options here. The Zigot Odyssey is one of them. Also sounds really good. I still like the Odyssey. Next one is the Cadenza 4, all right? Another S ranker for me. You can see there, very similar in the gain as well. Maybe the difference is on the bass. So if you want a more kind of like neutral approach, the Cadenza 4 is a good pick. If you want an IM that is more focused on the bass and fun, like bass and fun, yeah, maybe the Daybreak is for you. Because I really do think that the Daybreak's bass is better than the Cadenza 4. Both of them can be very good reference. It really depends on which frequency you want more. So if you want flatter, then the Cadenza 4, bass, Daybreak. A last one is the Mega 5 ESC. It's more expensive because, again, this is meta tuning, and meta tuning is like they're following each other, right? Like there is some similarities, and look at that in there. You do see there that the Mega 5 EST has more relaxed upper mids, and so it does sound like it. It is more relaxed sounding, but also with better treble extension. It's smoother overall, but Mega 5 EST is like 3 times the price of the Daybreak, right? So tonally, it's a little bit different because even if the Mega 5 EST here has more bass, I actually think that the Daybreak has better bass implementation. I do think that the Daybreak has better bass. I don't know why, maybe it's because of the ESTs or something, but I feel like, yeah, the Daybreak has better bass and it's cheaper. So pick your poison. And last one, if you are on a budget, you'll be surprised. Because there is actually a consistency on Crin's tuning. The truth here is red. Here you go. Look at that in there. I mean, like, apart from the treble energy in there, it's pretty much following the same target. And there is a consistency there on Crin's ear. You know, like, he tuned the red and it's the same. I tried it, I listened to it, and it's pretty close. And the difference is probably around the treble era because it's more nuanced and there's more resolution, I would say, in the upper treble, and it's more coherent, I would say. So if you're in a budget, you can stick with the red if you have the reds, but the Daybreak can be a very good upgrade to the Reds. Okay, final thoughts. Before getting the Daybreak, because this is, like people have been saying this is natural and reference. The question is, why are you buying a reference IM for? Why are you buying a reference set for? What for? What reason? You know what I mean? That's why I ask, because if you want to be in the hobby for quite some time and you want a reference so that you would know which one to buy in the future, get the Daybreak. It is a very good reference set. You would know other signatures, you would know what signatures are bassy, treble boosted, because you would have a very good reference. But if you're just in the hobby, like, just staying for a few years, and why even bother getting a reference set? I mean, this is just in my opinion. This hobby is consumption, and consumption, it's supposed to, you're supposed to enjoy it, I know other people enjoy neutrality, but then again, in my opinion, in order for me to enjoy this hobby, there needs to be a little bit of coloration. And I'm not saying that you would not enjoy the Daybreak. I'm just saying that the Daybreak might actually be more useful for other people, like say for example, people who are doing mixing, or musicians, or even reviewers, because there is a good reference. If you're just, like maybe buying stuff for enjoyment, maybe you're better off with other sets that are more fun and enjoyable. That's just me, but I'm not preventing you to say that the Daybreak is actually a good set, especially for musicians like drums, guitars. I think these are really, really good because we fiddle with tones already, and whatever, the changes that they do, it's pretty close to how it would sound in real life. So, oh, the meta. Oh my god, why have I forgotten the meta? Meta. Alright, there we go. Because you can't buy the meta anyway. So, there it is. So, technically, the meta it's just a brighter version of the Daybreak. It's a little bit colored in the treble. It is forward. That peak in there, that past 10k peak, it lets itself known. I don't know, if you have the meta, do you need to buy the Daybreak? If you didn't like the treble, probably sell the meta and get the Daybreak if that treble bothers you. For me, I kind of like prefer how the Daybreak implemented the treble here, because it's more natural. It's just more natural to my ears. This one here, it's a little bit boosted in the treble, so yeah, that's about the meta. So you actually only have one option here. You only have the option to buy the Daybreak, because the meta is just get the Daybreak, man. Have a nice day, and see you next time.